So, I am a guy who loves history, and I felt like doing something that a lot of other people has done. So, there's a YouTube channel called OverSimplified, basically telling this history stories of war, for example, and basically breaking it down and make it more simple to understand, or without going into too much detail or something, or yeah. Anyway, I felt like checking this out. It's two parts, and yeah, let's go. All right. Oh, by the way, I am going to subscribe to Simplified, and you should too. You should too. They have amazing videos. I came across this video from this guy, Original Human, who is a Royal Marine veteran, or I think so. Well, anyway, let's go.
This video was made possible by Skillshare.
Skillshare.
Churchill was a man with many talents. He was an artist, a butterfly enthusiast, and he had an unpublished manuscript about aliens. Clearly, he was a man with an insatiable thirst for knowledge. Maybe he could have loaded up his computer and logged onto Skillshare, an online learning community with more than 19,000 classes in design, business, technology, and more. Perhaps he was considering a side career in fashion, but didn't know where to start. On Skillshare, he would find courses in fashion design and garment construction. Or if he wanted to learn app design, improve his photography, or just how to make a really good quesadilla, he would have found courses for all of these and more on Skillshare. Skillshare gives you access to high-quality classes taught by genuine experts working in
music theory. That's cool.
And I was genuinely blown away by the number of really useful courses available to me, like this class full of tips and tricks for creating vector art, or this one for creating character walk cycles. For an
Hey, that's awesome.
Skillshare is under $10 a month, and if you'd like to try it out first, then I've got a deal just for oversimplified viewers. The first 1,000 people to use this.
By the way, I'm gonna enjoy this documentary. You can call it a documentary, in my opinion, because it's breaking down basically what happened in the World War II. Started 1939, ended 1945. But this is basically the documentary for the whole World War. Like, for example, you have on one side you have you have the European theater, of course, and you have the Pacific, and was there? Yeah, you had African. I think so. You had an African theater too, or something. I don't know if that ties into the European. I don't know. Anyway, let's continue. Cheers, guys. Oh, come on.
This link, which can be found in the description, will
Yeah.
be the first 2 months of Skillshare for just
That's cool.
99 cents. Be sure to
That is
in the
cool.
description
99
and
cents
Now,
in first
further
2 months. That
It's
would be
1903.
useful.
A young man by the name of Benito Mussolini moves from Italy to
Benito
Switzerland for
Mussolini.
service. He gets big into socialism, working for trade unions, writing for socialist newspapers, advocating a violent overthrow of European monarchies, the whole shebang. This gets him in a bit of trouble with the Swiss police. He gets arrested, sent back to Italy, set free, returns to Switzerland, is arrested again, goes back to Italy again, completes his military
Oh my
service
God.
after previously avoiding it, and then after a brief stint as an elementary school teacher, he finally returns to work as a
Ugh.
socialist. His speeches and journalistic abilities made him famous among Italian socialists. He was anti-war, so when Italy colonized Libya in 1910, he rioted and got arrested. Then World War I came along, and once again he protested Italy's involvement. But then he thought, wait a minute, this war could bring about the social climate needed to overthrow European monarchies and bring about the socialist revolution everywhere. And suddenly he was pro-war, but his fellow socialists didn't like his new pro-war stance, so they kicked him out of the party. So then he said, you know what? I'm done with socialism. We need something new, not based on class divisions tearing us apart, but based on unity through nationality.
I mean,
To conquer the Mediterranean and reunite all Italian peoples, just like the days of the Roman Empire. I'll take
Roman
fascist
Empire.
and will guide the Italian nation to greatness. That's all well and good, Mr. Mussolini, but what kind of haircut am I giving you? Let's go with
Fabio's hair salon. Wow. Let's go with
Bold.
Bolt. Oh my god, what?
Italy had been on the winner's side in World War I, and they hoped they were going to get a lot out of it, but in the end, they only got a little, and they felt cheated. On top of that, a bad economy and weak governments meant that the Italian people were a little unhappy. So when Mussolini came along and said that he could fix everything, his fascist movement gained a lot of support. In 1922, he went to the king and said, make me prime minister or I'll make me prime minister. And the king said, you and what army? This army. Fair enough. Then he went about
Fair
establishing a
enough.
dictatorship with himself at its center.
Fair
Europe's
enough.
first fascist dictator. Next
I
up,
mean,
Germany. Germany had been on the loser's side, and they got absolutely wrecked by the Treaty of Versailles.
by the way, about the Italian thing, so I played this game, Battlefield 1, that was featuring the Great War, basically, World War One, and in the campaign of that game, you were actually you were going through Italy and all other places, even Libya, I think. It was really interesting, to be honest, playing that game. But yeah, let's go.
Lost territory, had to demilitarize the Rhineland, reduce their army to just
That sucks.
100,000 men, couldn't
That
get the network,
sucks.
had to pay the Allies a huge amount of money that it didn't have, and a new rule was established that every Englishman withheld the right to walk into the center of Berlin, pick out any German they wanted, and spike that
Oh
flag.
my
And when
god,
that
that's so
lasted enough, it helped you understand
stupid.
how all this felt to Germans. On top of that, a bad economy and weak governments meant that when a small angry man with a silly mustache came
A
along
small
and said,
angry
"Fix
man."
everything," the German people loved it. Hitler had been a soldier during World War I.
Oh,
and he
yeah.
was crazy people.
Something I heard about him fighting in World War One. So he was saved by a British soldier when he was injured or something. I don't know too much about it, but at least that's what said in when I looked it up, basically.
Patriotic, and nobody was madder than him about Germany's humiliation. He helped start a new political party, and in 1923 attended a march on Munich with his boys. And then he got arrested. But his popularity grew and grew. In 1933, the president made him chancellor. He believed he was Germany's great destined savior, and he went full megalomaniac, establishing a dictatorship with himself at its center. Europe had fascist dictator number 2. Hitler and Mussolini had a lot of the same ideas, but more importantly,
No. Rewind.
Mussolini had a lot of the same.
Okay. Radical nationalism. To huh? I don't know how to pronounce that. Violence and okay. Huh. Right. Right. Okay.
Years, but more importantly, they had the same enemies, and they started to get along. Anyone else want to be friends? Franco? No? You good? I do. Who's that? It's Japan, and they've taken over northern China. Let's rewind a bit.
Okay.
Japan had isolated itself from the rest of the world for over 200 years until the Americans showed up and said, you're going to trade with us and you're going to like it. Then the Western powers imposed a bunch of unequal treaties, meaning Japan's economy was
I mean,
they also had no natural
America made them basically into what they were when they happened to get attacked at the Pearl Harbor because of this. Like, yeah.
resources, so they decided to go get some. They went to war with China to gain a sphere of influence over Korea, and they took a bunch of China's stuff. But then the West said, hey, cut that out. And since Japan couldn't take on the West, they said, okay, I guess we'll just go home. Wait a minute, what are you doing? Taking advantage of a weakened China and setting up spheres of influence. But I was the one who weakened them. We know. And you guys didn't let me have anything. We know. That seems unfair. We don't think so.
Huh.
Okay, see ya. So Japan thought, screw this, and went to war with Russia, and stunned everyone by actually winning. Then they fully
That's crazy
but they
to
didn't
think.
stop there. In World War I, they took
They
Germany's
beat
army and
Russia
and
or
then in
Russian.
1940, was by the Japanese army. A bomb blew up a Japanese train in Manchuria, giving them an excuse to launch an invasion and take over. So here's the situation: Nazi Germany, Fascist Italy, and Japan all believe they're racially superior, all feel hostility towards the Allies, and all want to militarize and take over more stuff. And so they did. Let's start with Germany. Hitler hated the Treaty of Versailles, and now he was ready to begin undoing it. In complete violation of the treaty, the first Luftwaffe squadrons were set up, conscription was introduced, and he pimped up his army. The Allies did nothing.
Oh,
Then
yeah. Come on. He pimped up. What? He pimped up his army. Anyway, that cannon rail train thing, that actually is in the video game Call of Duty World War II. Like, I used to play that a lot. Anyway, I just wanted to mention that it is a really hectic match, or well, not hectic, but it's like when you are bad at sniping and the map is huge, and if you are on top of that, you can basically look down on everything.
Stop his army. The Allies did nothing.
But
then
yeah.
Hitler sent his army back into the demilitarized Rhineland, giving orders to immediately retreat if the Allies showed up. The Allies did nothing. With his military re-strengthened, he could now
Jazz
step
up
two.
the army.
He wanted to rapidly increase the Aryan population, and to do so, he needed Lebensraum. Or in other words, he would have
Living
to take over the world.
space.
But for now, a good portion
Yikes.
of Europe would do, and he began eyeing up his neighbors. The Allies finally started to get worried, so they implemented a fairly useless diplomatic strategy.
I don't like the
And
look
it
of
went
this.
something like this. Hitler would say, I want that thing. And the Allies would say, you can't have that thing. Okay, you can have that thing, but no more. I want that thing. And repeat. In 1938, Hitler
Poland,
marched into Austria and
Czechia.
just took it with no resistance. Boom. This is Germany now. Next, he demanded...
There was actually a battle in Czechia that is really well, it, I don't know if it's known necessarily. Like, it's more like secret or not secret, but uh, basically the masses of people that are into history or the default people, they basically all they Americans, for example, they only care about when American troops joined at D-Day and acts like nothing ever happened before that. Um, yeah, and it's kind of weird how I explaining this, but that's how it make me feel. Like they acted like nothing happened. But yeah, about Czechoslovakia, there was this operation or something later in the war. I don't know when, maybe in 43 or 44. Some Germans actually tried to assassinate Hitler themselves. I think it's called uh what was it? Operation Pegasus or no, Valkyrie. Operation Valkyrie or something. There's a movie about it. So, yeah.
An area of Czechoslovakia with many ethnic Germans. The Allies had a meeting with Hitler and Munich and said, look, we're going to give you what. Hang on. This meeting is about my territory. Shouldn't I come to the meeting too? Anyway, we're going to give
Wow.
you what you want. Really? Yeah. Just like that? Yep. What's the catch? Just sign this piece of paper promising you won't invade the rest of
Ich
Czechoslovakia.
Ich will be chill. What? Oh my god. Well.
Okay. Then Chamberlain returned home victorious, waving a signed piece of paper in the air, declaring crisis to be averted and the continuation of world peace. And we built a statue
Think
of
again.
honor. Every day on the 30th of September, we celebrate Chamberlain. Hitler's invading the rest of Czechoslovakia. What? He's invading the rest of Czechoslovakia.
Uh,
You lied to me.
you
What do you
lied to
expect?
me.
I'm Hitler. Not to be outdone, Mussolini also wanted to get in on the action. He thought to himself, isn't there a not yet colonized nation somewhere which is so underdeveloped that the people would be defending themselves against our tanks with literal bows and arrows and wooden spears? Oh, there is?
Oh.
Fantastic. And so he took it. Italy also
Huh.
wanted to control the entrance to the Adriatic Sea, so they occupied Albania.
Right.
Then, in another
Albania.
incident which was maybe staged by the Japanese, gunfire was exchanged by Japanese and Chinese troops at the Marco Polo Bridge. And the
Marco
Japanese launched
Polo
another invasion against
Bridge.
China. They swept through Beijing and Shanghai, and then advanced to the Yangtze Valley to China's then capital,
Interesting.
Nanking. It was here that saw the worst of Japan's shocking atrocities committed against the Chinese people.
Hmm.
Back in Europe, Germany and Italy made their relationship status official by signing the Pact of Steel. Then, Hitler turned his eyes towards Poland and the hated Polish corridor, splitting Germany in two. At this point, the Allies really had to put their foot down. They warned him
Put
that
their
an
foot
invasion of
down.
Poland would mean war. Hitler had planned to continue his advance eastward, but he didn't want to end up fighting a war on two fronts. So for now,
Right.
he made an alliance with Stalin, saying, how about we both invade Poland and split it between the two of us, and I definitely won't not refrain from not betraying the Sounds good. This new alliance stunned the West. On the 1st of September 1939,
Interesting.
German troops entered Poland, and Britain and France declared war on Germany. The Poles fought hard, but they were no match for the two giants crashing down on them from either side. Then came a period known as the Phony War, where everyone
Phony
just sort
War.
of sat around not doing much. The French had launched a small invasion into the Saarland, but they maintained mostly defensive positions, and after a while decided to just turn around and call it a day. Speaking of France, the French were still super
Who
proud of
wants
their
to go
victory,
home?
and they hadn't really moved on from it. They still used horses, they dispatched messages by motorbike instead of using radio. Orders from the commander-in-chief were usually
Motorbike.
and the troops were regularly inspected. They built a line of defenses along their German border, but didn't bother
Yeah.
extending it all the way to the Channel, and they wouldn't launch artillery
Imagine
strikes
that
against Germany out of
line.
fear of being retaliated against. In a war, they didn't want to attack.
Of course not. They might shoot back. Well, what do you expect? Uh, well, I would say in a way that France, after World War One, France had the biggest egos, kinda as a country, when it comes to, well, in a way, believing that they were invincible or something. Don't get me wrong, Hitler thought that too, during the war. But yeah.
First, the UK wasn't much better. Chamberlain still naively hoped that the war could be ended diplomatically. Instead of bombing raids, the RAF dropped propaganda leaflets over German cities, which one air marshal said likely did nothing but provide the continent with toilet paper for the duration of the war.
Autenhausen.
200,000 men to
Utehus.
France had mobilized millions.
What it said, Autenhausen, or something like that. Husen. That means in Norwegian it means utehus, but basically it means what it is written, which is basically outhouse, or basically it's a bathroom, or well, not necessarily bathroom, but it's it has a toilet. It's kind of interesting to explain how you use it, but basically it's a outdoor bathroom where you can, well, do, yeah, but to empty it, that is another thing. That is, it's tricky, and yeah, I don't wanna mention how, but yeah.
Both Britain and France wanted to avoid a repeat of the First World War, and so they wanted to keep the war as far from home as possible. So they turned their eyes north, towards Norway.
Oh,
neutral
Norway.
Was exporting iron ore
Yeah.
through neutral Norway.
So you see here some, or I think this area or something. I don't know where the iron ore symbol was.
As far from home as possible.
Okay,
So they turned their eyes
let's see.
towards Norway. Neutral Sweden was exporting iron ore.
So it seemed like it went like this. I'm not sure, but like, yeah, my town is actually located, yeah, it is a lot of history going on where I am from. Actually, the town itself is actually mentioned.
Germany through
Yeah.
Norway. So the Allies asked them if they could please stop exporting iron ore to Germany, but this request was refused. Then the Soviets
A new phone. Who this?
How about we land troops
Oh
in
my
Norway
God.
and move them across Sweden to go help out your good pal Finland, and along the way maybe take control of all your armed forces. But Norway and Sweden still said no. So the UK lined the waters around Norway to
Nah, mate.
into international waters, and they also attacked a German tanker they found in the area.
Altmark.
Hitler realized what the Allies were up to, and he quickly moved to secure his supply of iron ore. He launched an invasion through Denmark into Norway. The Allies rushed to land troops at key ports along the coast, but Germany had taken control of Norway's airfield, and their air superiority
Right.
decided.
Yeah.
The Allies had to retreat. After this slightly embarrassing failure, Chamberlain resigned and was replaced with Winston Churchill, who had a slightly different approach to dealing with the Germans. Hitler's overall strategy was similar to Germany's First World War strategy. Attack France, defeat France, knock
don't go too fast here.
Surprised pretty much the place troops in Belgium.
Hey man, could you let our armies in?
But Belgium
Hell no, I ain't doing this again.
refused, and in a move that surprised pretty much
Oh my god.
to get around France's defenses, the Allies charged into Belgium at full speed to meet the German invasion.
Well,
and it looked like a repeat
that was bad idea
had a trick
of
blitzkrieg as the Germans
Belgium though.
refugees westward,
Oh,
slowing down the Allies.
okay.
Then to the south, the French had left the Ardennes, an area full of
Ah.
already underdefended because they thought it was naturally impenetrable. Well, the Germans were about to penetrate it with everything they had. They smashed 50 Wehrmacht divisions through and encircled the Allied
50?
armies at lightning speed. The best of the Allied forces were now trapped. The Germans squeezed in from all sides, taking out France's best army
Wow.
and nearly wiping out the British too.
Yeah,
They managed to
Dunkirk.
make a last-minute escape at Dunkirk with British civilian ships
Man.
journey to bring their young men home.
I saw the movie Dunkirk. It was actually really tough to watch it. Like of how savage Germany was in that battle. Like, yeah, they basically kept them from returning back to England, and yeah, they were trapped, as you can see here. They were trapped. They were basically trapped on the beach. And from the movie, what happening was that the Luftwaffe came with bombers and or they came with Stukas, dive bombers, and fighter pilots basically shooting up the beach. And yeah, the whole thing was a mess. But yeah, civilians helped out a lot in that battle.
So the French forces depleted, the Germans breezed through.
Oh, okay.
And France fell.
He
What the
skipped
Germans
that.
couldn't do in World War I, Hitler had done.
Okay, basically, what he skipped was that how British troops managed to escape France at Dunkirk, and that's of course by boat, because everywhere else was trapped. Like they were trapped in a beach. Boats going in and out, of course, with more troops, and that was a little bit before Churchill came into power, I think. But he had an idea of how they evacuated British troops from Dunkirk by the use of civilians and other boat companies or shipping, like normal fishing boats was used to transport soldiers, you can say.
Done just like that. Hitler hoped that with the fall of France, the UK would also lose hope and sue for peace. But quite annoyingly, it didn't, and he needed to secure the Western Front. So he tried to
Never surrender! Oh my god. Yeah, that was basically the quote of Winston Churchill. There was a song about it called Aces High, which is by a British heavy metal band called Iron Maiden. But yeah, if you like heavy metal music, you should check that song out.
To force them into submission with mind games. The UK
Mind
began all
games.
alone, and Hitler wanted to emphasize that. First of all, just before France fell, Italy finally declared war on the Allies, making the UK's situation even worse. Next, instead of just occupying all of France, Hitler occupied the coastal areas for defense, but allowed France to continue its existence as a German puppet state. This
German
time, it looked
puppet
like the UK's
state.
old ally had decided to switch sides. Hitler also hoped that the UK wouldn't attack any of our old allies' navy bases or colonies in Africa.
Okay, so now I got an idea of the African campaign thing. France. France have the whole shebang here. That little parts and through here. What flag is that? Indian? I don't know. Yeah.
Giving Hitler an extra line of defense to the south, but the UK made sure to respond to this by sailing down to France's navy base in Algeria and wrecking a bunch of ships. So have at it. Hitler then began laying down.
Oh, okay, yeah. So there.
He would first need air and naval superiority across the channel. Waves of German bombers came, and the clearly outnumbered RAF worked bravely around the clock in an attempt to quell the German attacks.
Right.
First, the Luftwaffe targeted British ports and coastal facilities. Then
Something that England had, which was crucial to that battle, a Battle of Britain, was radar. And basically one of the objectives of, if you select squadrons or whatever, was to destroy radio mast and all that.
attacked RAF bases, crippling the RAF's ability to defend the nation, and it looked like Hitler's great British invasion.
Bases.
But then
Well,
Churchill ordered a small, pretty insignificant bombing raid over Berlin. It didn't do much damage, but Hitler was furious, and he immediately ordered the
furious. Ugh.
Luftwaffe to refocus its attacks on civilian targets. Children were sent off to the countryside, away from their parents to avoid danger, and frequent trips to air raid shelters became a daily
Air raid
occurrence. But British
shelter.
morale held firm, smiling, knitting, lounging casually,
Just chilling.
This refocusing on London
Balls
gave
of
the
steel.
RAF breathing space to reorganize.
Oh, by the way, with this there. By the way, there was a lot of, I think it was Polish and Czechoslovakian fighter pilots that joined Battle of Britain, actually. There was also some kind of mission to try to, I think it was take back their country or something. And because of them, Battle of Britain was a much higher percent of being a success, because they were a really great fighter pilots. This is something I have read and listened to in other documentaries. To think that it's only British people fighting in Battle of Britain for England is false. So
Yeah, breathing space to reorganize. So Hitler kind of shot himself in the foot there. Just the foot for now. Finally, the Luftwaffe sent one massive all-out attack on London, and the RAF successfully repelled it, destroying many of the German aircraft and placing air superiority firmly in British hands.
yeah, English Channel.
But the bombing of British cities continued for some time.
Oh, okay. So now we have Now we have gotten as far to episode 2 or part 2. Anyway, if you like this, if you like these kinds of videos, me reacting to historic things and basically documentaries about history, go ahead and click like on this video. And yeah, do me a favor, subscribe to my channel. And yeah, keep watching, stay tuned. Adios, amigos.